Hey everyone,
All
welcome.
yours.
This is Josh Oakes, and I have Dave Sherman on the webinar with us today. Welcome to Opening the Client Floodgates by Infusionsoft and Media Leaders. It's great to have you on this webinar. We have a lot of people joining us right now. They're all on time, which is very exciting. Dave, welcome to the webinar.
Thank you very much, Josh. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, it's an honor to have you lead this. We at Media Leaders believe very much in Infusionsoft, as you know. We use Infusionsoft as the backbone of our business, making sure that our content marketing is exciting and helpful to people. And we're excited to have you show us the 7 steps to opening the client and customer floodgates. We've got a bunch of people on the webinar here today. I want everybody to know first and foremost, this is going to be very practical. Dave does this day in and day out and helps companies all day long. You know the way we do it at Media Leaders. And B, we use all of these techniques on our company. And C, I'm excited because I'm going to take 1 or 2 of these tips and really apply them as well, because I do not I think we're always improving, so this is exciting. Dave, I'm going to let you take it over from here and
Okay.
share with us the 7 tips. So thank you so much for doing this for us.
It is my pleasure. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I would normally say good morning to everybody, but considering that I don't know if it's morning for all of you, I know it is morning for those of us in beautiful Chandler, Arizona, which is just outside Phoenix. No, it's not going to be 119 degrees today, but it'll probably be a cool 107, which is really not too terrible for us. So, but it's a beautiful day out here, and I hope it is the same thing as where you guys are also. But I'm assuming you probably didn't come on this webinar to talk about the weather. My goal is to share with you tips and tools on how you can truly open the client floodgates by eliminating a lot of the biggest challenges you have in your business. Just so you'll know, this program, besides Media Leaders, it is also being sponsored by Infusionsoft. We are the all-in-one sales and marketing software for small business. Just so you'll know who the person is that's doing your presentation for you. Again, my name is Dave Sherman. I am the Partner Development Manager here at Infusionsoft. I have been here. As a matter of fact, today is my 1-year anniversary at Infusionsoft.
Woo, that's
Thank you.
great.
Thank you. Woo-hoo!
That's
Balloons and
awesome.
confetti and clowns and stuff like that. So yes, today is my 1-year anniversary here. Besides being Partner Development Manager, I am also a professional speaker, trainer, and best-selling author. My topic of choice is networking, so I teach people how to mix, mingle, and schmooze. Even though I live in Arizona, was born and raised in beautiful Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, central PA. And some of my favorite things are golf, movies, travel, red wine, and a great cigar. And I'm hoping to be doing at least 2 of these things later this afternoon.
Great.
You're just going to have to pick which one of these things are the ones.
Great.
So let's dive right into this. Again, one of the things that Josh says, when a lot of this information is going to be very practical. I don't believe in providing any information that isn't instantly applicable. So in this webinar, we're going to help you minimize your lack of traffic. We're going to help you reduce lost leads, increase customer nurturing. We're going to help eliminate lost sales, decrease one-off sales, and generate more referrals. We understand the challenge that you folks face in the PR business. We understand what you're going through, and your goal is to land more clients. We're going to help you do this. The best part about this is we're going to show you how to do all of this automatically, and by being able to do this automatically, it's going to help you eliminate repetitive tasks, miscommunications, unnecessary marketing efforts which drive you crazy, and mishandled leads and sales. Bottom line is we're going to show you how you can make more money, and we're going to show you how you can start doing this immediately. How are we going to do this? It's very simple. We are going to introduce you to something called Lifecycle Marketing. Lifecycle Marketing is a 7-step system that was created by Scott Martineau, who is one of our co-founders in Infusionsoft. As you can see, it's based on 7 steps that every small business needs to embrace to be able to be as successful as possible. These 7 steps include attract traffic, capture leads, nurture prospects, convert sales, deliver and satisfy, upsell customers, and get referrals. One of the questions I ask when we do this presentation in a live format, I always ask people to raise their hand if they're doing all 7 of these things and doing them well. Any hand that goes up, I kind of say to them, I think you're lying to me, because I've met very few people that are currently doing all 7 of these things and doing them well. Well, folks, I'm going to make you a deal. If you stick with me through this webinar, and this webinar will be over in an hour, I promise. It's probably going to come up a little shorter than that because I will never go long. So for those of you that have stuff scheduled at the top of the next hour, do not worry. I will promise we will get you to your appointments on time. So I want to dive right into this, and let's look at the very first step of lifecycle marketing. First step is attracting interest. It really doesn't matter what type of business you have. You know, it doesn't matter whether you have a brick and mortar business. It doesn't matter whether you're in an office complex. It doesn't matter whether you're online business. If you don't know how to attract interest in your business, you got nothing. So we're going to be able to talk about how you could be able to attract more interest in your business. The challenge that most of you face is that you have inconsistent traffic. You traditionally have the wrong traffic, and you might also have too little traffic. You know, the inconsistent traffic, that's the thing that drives you the craziest, because certain months you're just absolutely swamped with business, and then the next month you got nothing. Okay, it creates that roller coaster effect, and I've been an entrepreneur for 16 years. You know, I know what that roller coaster is like, and after a while you get to a point where you're going, you know, I'd like a little more consistency. Well, that's what we're going to help you with. We believe that one of the greatest things that you can do, and Josh, you and I were talking about this before we came on, that one of the best things that you can do to generate more traffic is to create lead magnets.
Yep.
You need to be able to have things in your business that are going to draw people into you. What most of you are doing, what a lot of you are doing, is you are pushing all your information out. Ooh, use my firm. Ooh, we do PR. Ooh, let me get you more business. Ooh, let me get you, on the top page of, let me get you in all the headlines and things such as that. You're pushing all that out there, but the problem is so is everybody else. So we're sick and tired of hearing it. Excuse the bluntness, but to be honest, I have 51 minutes. I don't have time to sugarcoat any of this. So I apologize if any of this is coming across a little harsh, but it's not meant to. It's just kind of to open your eyes on what you should be looking at. I don't want to hear about all the stuff that you do. You need to give me something that's going to benefit me, and these are lead magnets.
Yep.
What are some examples of lead magnets? Ebooks, white papers, webinars, podcasts, videos. Hey, Josh, before we got on the line, you made the comment that you're starting to do a lot of stuff in video. Can you tell the audience a little bit about that?
Yeah, so ebooks, white papers, webinars are amazing. And for us, YouTube videos are great because we have so much knowledge, Dave, on my social media best practices for my team that will give away tips and techniques as you watch it. And if you want to download the rest, we have a lead magnet on our website.
Exactly. And, but I want you to listen to what Josh just said. He said, we talked about videos. So a lot of times when I say you need to do video, people think these grand things where you have to go to video studios and have multi-camera shoots and really expensive cameras and stuff like that. All of you that are on the call right now, please pick up your smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee you probably have a really good video camera on your smartphone right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying do you go out and spend tens of thousands of dollars on video. If you have the budget to do that and you have access to it, go for it, but you don't have to. I mean, for years, I probably have 150 videos on YouTube. I shot every single one of them with a flip cam.
Yep.
And then it automatically uploads it to YouTube, okay, and then you send it out. So the point that we're making is it doesn't matter whether you're using a video like Josh or whether you're doing a webinar like you're on right now, because what you're on right now is a lead magnet. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you're doing webinars or ebooks, you have to do something to draw people into you, to create attention, to have somebody say, I want to hear what this person has to say or what this company is offering.
And the
okay,
key,
so that's
the key
go
to
ahead.
that, Dave, just to translate this, everybody, you have something valuable that you can give away. You have FAQs, you have something that is counterintuitive in all of your businesses. We have somebody on here that's a lawyer right now for startups that just signed up for Infusionsoft. They have a ton of tactical tips, legal tips they can begin to give away to all of these startup people. And they're really not giving away their secret sauce. They're just helping the community. And that is a great example of a lead magnet. Am I right?
Exactly. Now, but here's the next step, because everyone's going, "Ooh, I can make lead magnets." But the problem with lead magnets is creating great lead magnets is important, but it doesn't mean anything if you're not capturing the leads
Yep.
they are creating.
Yep.
So let's talk about this for a little bit. Imagine if, if behind, like I always use this as an example. When I was living in Harrisburg, long time ago, we used to live in a house that there was a stream in the back of our house, and there was occasionally some fish in there, not a lot. It was a pretty small stream. But if I ever decided I wanted to go fishing in this stream, and I used a net that had a big hole in the back of it, those fish would come in the front and swim right out the back, and I wouldn't catch anything. The reason I use that example is you folks have the exact problem in your business. You are missing prospects. Anyone that comes to your website, anyone that comes to your blog site, anyone that comes to your social media sites, your Facebook page, your LinkedIn profile, and does not have the ability to provide you with their contact information, name and email address, that is like a fish swimming right through your net. And because of this, you are missing sales opportunities. Let's be completely capitalistic here for a second. Bottom line of this webinar is to help you folks close more sales. Josh told me from the very beginning, the ultimate reason, the number one reason why all of you are on this webinar is to find more clients.
Yep.
Okay, what I'm talking to you about right here is how to close more sales. But you have to be able to capture the traffic that you're getting, okay, before you can start closing the amount of sales that you want. Here is how a lot of you are still doing this. It amazes me that most people rely upon building their lists by a newsletter. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work anymore.
Yep.
Please understand, I'm not negating the use of newsletters. Okay, I still think newsletters is a great way to get information across, but your newsletter has to be filled with stuff that draws people in, not stuff that you can try and cram down their throat. What you have to start looking at is something called a landing page or a squeeze page. So, for instance, Josh was talking about that there's some no, as a matter of fact, Josh was talking about that there's an attorney that he works with, and I think is actually on the call.
Yeah, it's a she.
That this attorney, that she has the thank you very much. That she has the opportunity to be able to provide 3 tips to avoid 3 things to avoid when hiring an attorney. So when she puts that out there, people are going to go, well, heck, I got to hire an attorney. I want to find out what these 3 tips are. When they show up at her website, we don't want to just give the tips away. We want to send them to a landing page, just like what you're looking at here. Now, some of you are saying, well, wait a minute, this page looks familiar. Of course it looks familiar because it's very similar to the landing page you filled out to get on this webinar. You'll notice it asks for first name, last name, company, email address, things such as that. But what it does is it captures their contact information, so it gives you the opportunity to market your products or services to these people as down the road. If you don't get their contact information, it's basically like a fish swimming right through your net. So you've got to start being able to create landing pages and using these lead magnets to be able to generate more traffic. A great example of this, I'll give you a couple of them, is Human Healthy Vending. One of our favorite clients, they actually have, check this out, they have vending machines that sell stuff in the vending machine that actually won't kill you. So they sell healthy foods in the vending machine. So for those of you that are going, wow, I could really get something to drink, but I don't want a Snickers bar. I don't want Pringles. I want something a little healthier. That's what these guys do. They used to be pure hunters. All they did was go out and hunt for new business. But once they started targeted lead magnets, like one of their big markets is health clubs, they would put out things like 5 shocking ways your club is losing money right now. Once they created targeted lead magnets, they grew their prospect database by 10 times. Josh, let me ask you a question. If you could, between now and next week, increase your current prospect database 10 times, what kind of impact would that have on your business?
Huge.
No doubt. And I'm sure that everyone on this call is sitting there going, man, I would settle for 5 times.
Yep.
Well, the point that I'm making is if you start using lead magnets and start learning how to capture these contacts, you're going to be able to increase your database. Gleason Tax, one of our all-time favorite clients, they actually live very close to the office, and we see them on a pretty consistent basis. is they used to spend thousands of dollars on marketing and were getting very poor results. They discovered the gold of educational marketing by primarily doing this this ultimate tax planning guide. Not only did they decrease their marketing spending by 50%, they increased their leads by 120%. If you can go back a little bit to any time you were in college or any kind of business school, what do they teach you you have to do to have a successful business? Increase your profits, decrease your expenses. That's exactly what they did in one fell swoop. Hey, Josh, what are some of the things that you do to capture leads? What do you do? Do you use a landing page? What are some of the things that you do?
Yeah, great question. So we host networking events, first of all. We offer a ton of value for free. People come to a really cool venue. Next, we host webinars like this where we give away tactical information. You have to register ahead of time for free. Next, we have free ebooks. In addition to that, we have videos that you can retweet, share, and so on. So we have a bunch of different ways to do that.
And I'm assuming every time you do this, because it sounds like you're making great lead magnets, but you make sure that you always have lots of ways to be able to capture their contact information, whether you're doing something live or whether you're doing something online.
Exactly. And I did this actually in politics, Dave. You don't know about this about me, but the one reason that I, as the youngest person on the ballot with the least amount of money and the smallest resources, was able to get so many people to vote for me is because I used this exact technique. It works in politics and in business. Everybody that would meet me on the street and say, I want to vote for you, I'd say, great, give me this amount of data. And I had lead magnets on every part of politics. This works all over people, not just for business.
Exactly right. All right, so let's move on because this next section is what I believe is the missing link to business. I am going to assume that all of you, when you meet somebody and talk to them about your PR firm or some of the things that you can do for them or, different things that your business can do, I'm assuming certain people are going to go, man, I need your product or service. I'll buy it right now. Okay? But I'm assuming that probably if it's the national average, 90% of these people are not ready to buy yet. Mm-hmm. So what I want to do is I want to spend some time talking about nurturing your prospects, because if I can be really direct, most of you stink at this. Mm-hmm. Most of you will get, you'll close those 10% that are ready to buy your product or service, but the other 90% you will ignore. And this is like taking money and throwing it in the trash. Here's the thing. Imagine if I gave you a business card, and on the back of the business card it says, I'm going to buy your product or service in 60 days. Okay, I'm going to buy it. I will definitely buy your product or service, but I need to wait 60 days. Would you throw that away? No, you'd probably stick it on your board somewhere. You'd put something in your CRM, and you'd remind yourself to call this individual in 60 days. Mm-hmm. Well, every single one of your customers is doing that with you. You just have to learn to understand how. So let's dive right into this. Excuse me. The challenge that most of you are having when it comes to nurturing prospects is you're wasting your hot prospects. You are not taking the time to focus on them and be able to follow up with them enough to keep them engaged with you and your product and your service until they're ready to buy. Because of this, you're missing lots of sales and have a very low conversion percentage. So here's what I want to show you first. Let's talk about the cost of not nurturing. So say, for instance, and we'll use Josh will use you as an example. Say you send out an email campaign of 10,000 emails. And out of those 10,000 emails, 100 people say to you, yes, I am interested in potentially buying your product or service. And out of those 100, you close 10 customers. Well, a lot of people on the call are saying, well, heck, if I can get a 10% close rate, I'd be pretty happy and I get to pick up 10 new customers. Well, here's the challenge. Congratulations, you closed 10 new customers, but what happens to the other 90 responders? Most of them fall through the cracks. Most of them have zero follow-up. A lot of them will go to your competitors. How does that make you feel? That you are actually teeing up business for your competitors, but for the most part, most of these leads that you have are going to go right into the trash can. Mm-hmm. Now, I hope that there are some of you that are sitting here saying to yourself, this is infuriating. This is ridiculous that I'm actually throwing people, that I'm now understanding that the people that I'm not following up with, I'm literally throwing hot leads away. Mm-hmm. So let's take a look at the benefits of nurturing. Again, we're going to use Josh as the example. Same 10,000 audience, same 100 responders, same 10 customers, but instead of 10 customers, say over a period of another 60 days, Josh closes another 5, 10, or 15 customers. So instead of having a 10% return rate from his campaign, he has a 25% return rate from his campaign.
Mm-hmm.
All of you on this call, I'd like you to think for a second and say to yourselves, what would my business be like if I could increase my closing rate from 10% to 25%? I have to assume it's going to have a major impact on your business. It could bring in new products and services. It could upgrade your technology. You could hire, more staff to grow your business faster. Or if you want to go this route, you could put more money in your pocket. You could take a little time off. You could stop working weekends. You could stop being a slave to your business because you can now afford to do the things that you want. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the benefits of nurturing. A great example of this is a company called Minutes Matter. They have a lead nurture campaign to follow up with their free trial prospects. Josh made the comment that, he'll send out tips and tools to people by video or white papers or podcasts or things such as that. Mm-hmm. And I'll ask Josh this in a second. But what Minutes Matter does is over the next 45 days, they send out 7 emails to the people that took advantage of their free trial to stay in contact with them. So you'll notice, like on day 3, it's an official welcome. And on day 14, it's a series of how-to and studio tips. And on day 20, they send out a special. You'll notice out of those 7 emails, they only pushed a price special once. Mm-hmm. And then on day 45, they said they haven't heard from you. So imagine, ask yourself this. If you reached out to all your prospects 7 times over a 45-day period. Now, please understand, this was just their example, so this isn't like the standard. Okay, but imagine if you reached out to every one of your prospects a minimum of 7 times before you decided where you wanted to go with them. What kind of results would this have in your business? I got to assume you're going to potentially double your close rates. Josh, what are some of the things that you do to follow up with your prospects?
Yeah, great question. I've got a book out as well, Dave, like you do, and I give away chapter 1 for free. And if you enter your name and email and all that stuff, you can get chapter 1 for free. But I'm not following up enough. I'll be honest with you. I send out something day 1, then day 3, then day 7, but I need to add 4 more emails that gently add more value, because people want to hear from me if they want to read my book. And I probably need to double the amount of times I touch the customer and say, hey, here's a bonus thing. Hey, I haven't heard from you.
And I really appreciate you admitting that because I need you to understand, folks, just because Josh is hosting this webinar, the coolest thing about working with Josh on this is that he knows that he's not doing all of these steps perfectly either. Mm-hmm. So what I want you to also understand is when I talk about nurturing your prospects, I'm not talking about sell. So you'll notice when Minutes Matter sent out these 7 emails, only one of them talks about pricing.
Yeah.
Okay, the rest of them are all educational. And so please understand, all I want to know when you're nurturing me is I want to know what your product or service is going to do to benefit my life.
And quite frankly,
that's what I want you to share
most of the time, and this is one of the tricks, Dave, I'm sure you are doing and you're seeing other clients do, and this is what Media Leaders does. We'll actually provide so much value that people go, wow, I've got to work with you. And we'll give stuff away, and we're top of mind when they are ready to buy, because sometimes it really doesn't it takes a lot of nurturing, and then when they need PR or when they need real estate or when they need something, you're top of mind. So this nurture is so valuable.
And what a lot of people will think is they'll say to themselves, this person is giving away such great information, I cannot imagine the quality of the information I'm going to get once I start paying for it.
And their loyalty
so that's what people
is
have
through the roof when you do that. Why would they work with anyone else?
Right, exactly right. So now that we have nurtured our prospects, because of Minutes Matter, what they did, they increased their conversions by 30%.
Wow.
So now that we're talking about converting sales, let's go to the next step of lifecycle marketing, which is converting sales. Now, I want to tell you that I'm going to spend very little time on this right now, primarily because, one, I'm limited on time, and two, I'll make this real simple for you. If you attract more traffic, you capture more leads, and you nurture your prospects better, converting sales is going to be a lot easier for you. So the biggest challenges that you folks face is you can't identify your hottest leads. So here's my challenge to a lot of you. Okay, and these are rhetorical questions because it's only a one-way conversation. Say, for instance, okay, last week, what was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago was the end of the quarter. Okay, so say that you're sitting there saying to yourself, okay, I got a goal to hit. I only need 4 more sales. I only need 4 more clients to really have a record-setting quarter for me. How many of you know right now the first 4 people you could call that have the greatest likelihood of buying your product or service? I will bet most of you don't have a clue. And again, I'm not saying this to be, arrogant or to push any of your buttons. My point is I need you to understand how important it is that when you get to a point where you need to close deals and you need to close deals now, you have to find the people that have the greatest likelihood of buying your product or service then. Mm-hmm. Because of this, you're losing sales due to bad timing, and again, you're missing your goals. Here at Infusionsoft, man, we are all about goals. We got monthly goals, we got yearly goals, we have a goal that right now will end in the end of 2016. So, we're all about goals. And if you don't have real, set goals in your business, you might want to come to a webinar on that because we'll show you how we can do that for you also. So here's a couple of tips on how to convert more sales. Number one, you have to start identifying timing. You need to start identifying when people are buying your product or service. You need to understand at what point in that pipeline are they ready to bubble up and buy. Because if you don't, you are going to be pushing people that aren't ready to buy too quickly, too harsh, too hard, and you're not going to be closing the people that are ready to buy when they are. So you've got to be able to understand the timing. The second part of this, as we talked about on the last slide, is you have to really focus on the idea of nurturing. Mm-hmm. Okay, it is vitally, vitally important that it's not just a matter of sell, 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 sell. You've got to provide me with reasons on why I should pay attention to your business, why you're going to benefit me, why you're going to help me. What are you going to do to make me more money, save me more time, protect my family, close more deals, whatever the case may be? Now, that's what I want to hear from you.
Dave,
but hold on for one sec, Josh.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Josh.
So sorry.
That's okay. And the bottom line is you need to be able to do the timing and the nurturing, but you've got to be able to have a plan and a strategy for both. One without the other is not going to do it. You've got to be able to have both of these, to be able to convert more sales. Josh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so everybody on this call has been on most of our email list and our nurturing and seen how much data we give away to them to help their company. So you have all seen the nurturing that we do. We want you to come to us for practical best practices on social media and best practices on how to manage your business with customers. And then we try and do that every month or in between and so on. And we invite you to more webinars and then we start to push that in. So you guys are all familiar. We use Infusionsoft to do this, which is really exciting.
Right. And, and it's something that I really want you to think about because to be honest, I don't know about the rest of you. Nurture is not a word I use very often. Okay, so for those of you that are sitting there going, nurture, if you're uncomfortable with that word, that's fine. Replace it with educate.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this really, 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 really simple for all of you.
Yeah.
I will guarantee you will close more deals. I will guarantee you will find more new clients if you spend more time educating them on why they need your product or service. Not about your product or service. Don't tell me all the details and all the features about your business. At this point, I don't care. All I want to know is how you're going to make my life better. That's how you convert more sales. Okay? Let's move on because we've got a bunch more stuff I want to cover with you. Mm-hmm. Now, the next step of this, everything we're going to cover at this point is going to be post-sale. Because once you convert the sale, many of you are going, woohoo, thank God I got a new client. I'm so happy. I'm done. Okay, no, that's just the beginning. Do you guys know what LCV stands for? Lifetime Customer Value. If you look at a customer as a one-time purchase, you have just completely destroyed your LCV. Every time a customer buys from you, that is the beginning of their lifetime customer value. Your goal is to expand that as long as possible. Like I know for a fact here at Infusionsoft, our lifetime customer value lasts somewhere between 22 and 27 months.
Wow.
How many of you know what the lifetime customer value is of your customers? So here's everything we're going to talk about is how to increase that LCV. So deliver and satisfy. The challenge that you folks face, plain and simple, you have apathetic customers. No offense, your customers do not care if they ever buy from you again, ever. Please understand, I'm not saying that your product or service isn't fabulous. I'm not saying that you didn't do your job. I bet you did both of those. But you've not done anything to give me a reason to buy from you again. Perfect example, Scott Martineau, one of the people that was the founders of our company, told me a couple of months ago he has had 10 mortgages in the past 30 years with 9 different mortgage companies.
Mm-hmm.
If he really had, if these mortgage companies didn't have apathetic customers, he'd probably have 10 mortgages with 3 mortgage companies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of your challenges. The second challenge is that you have no wow in your business. None. When it comes to delivering and satisfying on your product or service, you have no wow. Because of having no wow, you have a decreased lifetime customer value. So what we have to talk about is, what is your wow? What is the thing that separates you from every other PR firm out there? Because I have to assume that all of you have competitors. Is there anyone, do any of you live in a particular place where you are the only firm in town? If that's the case, you don't have to worry about it because you're the only firm in town. You have to identify what is your wow. What is that thing that separates you from everybody else? I'll give you a perfect example. I'll give you a couple of very simple examples. There's a deli very close to my house. Okay, when I buy 12 bagels from them, I get 6 bagels for free. Why would I go somewhere and pay for a dozen bagels and only get 12 when I can get 18 there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll give you another example. I'm a huge advocate of buying local. I want to just put that out there. I believe in spending my money where I live. However, I must confess to all of you, and I will put this out in public, I am a huge Amazon.com guy. I probably buy something from Amazon.com every single week. I know some of you are going, that's ridiculous, and you're 100% right. I get it. Like, this week I actually bought something that cost me $1.87. And I know Josh is sitting there going, that's ridiculous. No, I found a place where I could get 5 of these little lithium batteries, some no-name brand for $1.87, free shipping. I didn't need them immediately.
I'm like your brother from
Are you the same way?
Yeah. I ordered toilet paper today on Amazon.com. It gets shipped in 2 days. No joke. I get everything shipped to my house. But yeah, you're right, because Amazon has a wow factor. It's easy to use. It's fun. Correct. It's all about the customer.
Right, exactly. And if you don't have that wow, and the example I always give with Amazon is I'm on Amazon Prime, which means I get my stuff shipped in 2 days. Yep. But what people don't realize that live in Phoenix, there's 2 Amazon warehouses in Phoenix. I have ordered things at 11 o'clock at night that have been brought to my doorstep at 4 o'clock the next day. I couldn't go out and buy that myself in that period of time. Mm-hmm. That is a major league wow. So I want you to ask yourselves again, what is your wow? Mm-hmm. So Josh, what is your wow? What is the thing that when you deliver your service that people go, man, am I glad I'm buying from Media Leaders?
Good question. When they come to one of our events and they sign up, the first thing I do is I as the owner of the company, turn around and call them. I say, hey, I'm so excited that you got this. We're going to take great care of you. Listen, I got to run in a minute, but I want to let you know we're going to take great care of you, and I'm going to follow up with this. I look forward to seeing with you. And they go, what? You're calling me? Very simple wow.
Yeah. And I need you to understand what Josh just said. Think about it. Besides a little time, what is the cost of Josh picking up a phone and calling a new client?
It's zero.
Pretty much zero.
Yeah.
Exactly. And what Josh is doing, and we're going to talk about this when we get to the next step,
Mm-hmm.
Josh doesn't look at these people as just, walking wallets. He wants to create this relationship with these people because he knows the deeper the relationship, the lower level of apathy.
And
Because if these people have a relationship with Josh, the chances of them buying more product or service from him is going to increase exponentially. Josh, go ahead.
and that very simple phone call will make the next few steps that we have in this 7-step process much easier as
Totally.
well.
Totally. Let me give you a great example of somebody who does a wow that you'll be astonished at the response they got, and it costs nothing. Avid Off-Road, this is one of our clients that sells aftermarket gear for Toyota trucks, like grill guards and, roof racks and, stuff like that. They created a simple sequence to follow up and communicate with new customers. And what they do is one of these sequences asks them to send in, pictures of your truck, tell us your stories, send in funny pictures. Like if you accidentally, and hopefully nobody got hurt, you're trying to go up a hill and you roll your truck, or, you got a big, tumbleweed in the front of your truck, or something like that. But they want people to communicate with them. Because of this, people rave on customer service sites.
Yep.
They rave about their customer service on online forums, which means it's creating a larger footprint for them in the social media world, in the internet world.
Mm-hmm.
What does this cost them? A few personnel resources, a little bit of time, maybe a little bit of money to initially put in the software to be able to create the sequences, like using Infusionsoft. This is what Avid Off-Road does, and it is turning out in spades for them because of the amount of raves they're getting on online forums. So please understand, you don't have to spend a lot of money, but please don't lose sight of the fact that you must wow your customers.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've wowed our customers, let's go to the next step, which is upselling your customers. Now, I need to warn you something. I am going to irritate some of you with this section. I'm sorry, because some of you are going to be listening to this, and you know who I'm talking to, that are saying to yourselves, I do no upsell. I sell them my product or service, and that's it. There's a million things I could upsell them, and I'm not doing any of it. The challenge that most of you are facing when it comes to upselling your customers is you're missing additional profits. Mm-hmm. Do you realize that for a lot of you, when the initial service that you're selling somebody traditionally is going to be discounted a little bit so you can get your foot through the door. Everything from that point on should be at your highest profit level because you're already through the door. If you're not upselling, you are spending too much money on marketing because you're constantly having to find new customers, which again, by doing that, you're having a lower LCV. Mm-hmm. So I always like to share with people who I personally believe. As a matter of fact, Josh, let me ask you the question. Who do you think is the greatest upsell company on earth?
I think it's Amazon. Oh, no. I know the answer to this. I heard this from you, or I heard this in a book. It's McDonald's. It's exactly McDonald's. Right. Ow, I get an A today.
You are totally getting an A. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put a gold star on your account today.
Thanks.
It's exactly right. And people go, well, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Think about it. Now, I don't eat at McDonald's. I don't eat fast food. The best thing I'll do is I'll go to a Subway. But every time you go to McDonald's, what's the first question they ask you? Would you like fries with that? Do you know the billions, that's with a B, the billions of dollars that McDonald's makes every time they sell somebody a thing of fries, yep, or an apple pie, or a milkshake, or a latte, or what any of the things that McDonald's is selling now? So the question I always ask our clients, and I ask people who come on our webinars, is what are your fries? Mm-hmm. What are you upselling people on? Let's take this out of another example. For instance, a couple of weeks ago, I had to buy a suit because I'm going to a wedding in a couple of weeks. When I went and bought a suit, do you think all I bought was a suit? I wish I could have gotten out of there that easy. Mm-hmm. They tried to sell me shoes and socks and a shirt and a tie. Folks, I spent $26 on a friggin' pocket square. Mm-hmm. Okay, I still don't know why I did it, but whoever was selling to me was a great salesperson, and I spent $26 on a pocket square that I can't even use to blow my nose with. Okay, that is an upsell. So what are your fries? Additional products or services, membership programs, coaching and consulting, mastermind or inner circle programs. Think about those things that you can upsell to the people that are already spending money with you. As Josh said earlier, I'm a professional speaker and trainer. I've written 3 books on the topic of networking. If somebody buys my books, I sell them my audio CDs. If they buy my audio CDs, I sell them my DVDs. If they buy my DVDs, I sell them my one-on-one coaching services. Josh, what are some of the things that you do for upselling at Media Leaders?
So that's a really great question. If we sell them an event ticket, we upsell them on the book. If we sell them,
Perfect.
if we upsell them on the book, we get them into our program. Once we get them into our program, yeah, keep going. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, please.
And then we try and get them into one of our speeches. We try and get them into the $100 a month program where we advise them one-on-one coaching, all kinds of different stuff. And it really is a web. And the upsell that everyone's thinking about online. So if you're an agency on right now, you could be like, okay, we offer PR results, but you could say, hey guys, for another $1,000 a month, we'll run a little bit of your social media.
Exactly.
That's
exactly right.
If you're a lawyer.
And here's the point.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
And here's the point I want to make out. Josh, when you talk about when somebody comes to one of your live events or somebody comes to, a webinar, or somebody comes to a presentation, I'm assuming that there's a very low barrier of entry to get them into your event. So there's a very low cost to get them to your events. But I'm willing to bet the products and services that you sell them when they're at the event, can you tell me that they are at pretty much full profit or pretty close to it?
Yeah. Exactly.
Great. So in other words, you're getting people through the door, but once you get them through the door, everything at that point on is at a normal profit level. So that's the point we're trying to make here is if you do the upsells, you get the opportunity to be able to generate more profits in your company. Here's a great example on this. Jermaine Griggs was our Ultimate Marketer of the Year about 2 years ago. And what he does is he creates personal relationships just like Josh does, where he wants that relationship with the people that are buying from him. Because of this, and from these personal relationships, he sends targeted messages to people that have an LCV, lifetime customer value, of over $200. So anyone that has spent over $200 with him, he sends very targeted messages with an upsell offer. Because of this, he is doubling his net profits. Doubling. Every one of you can be doing this. Is there anything that I'm currently telling you that you're saying to yourself, oh, Dave, I can't do this? No. You can't legitimately tell me, Dave, I can't do this. Everyone can do this. It's just a matter of finding the time and having the systems in place to be able to handle this, and that's what we're going to show you at the end. So that is upselling your customers. And I want to go into the last step of lifecycle marketing because it is so vitally important, and that's getting referrals. Okay, the challenge that most of you have when it comes to getting referrals is, number one, you have too few of them. Number two, if you had more referrals, most of you have no idea how to handle referrals and how to take care of referrals. And number three, you have no plan or strategy to turn those into sales. A lot of you are sitting here saying to yourself, yeah, I could use more referrals. Yeah, I need more referrals. But the problem is, even if I gave all of you right now 20 referrals right now, unfortunately, most of you would have no idea what to do with them. You'd call them and you'd sell, and then that would be the end of it. Most of them would be wasted. So what I want to do is I want to share with you what we like to call our advanced referral strategy. Now, I'd like you to grab a piece of paper and a pencil because it's kind of deep and it's a little confusing, so I want to go over it with you. So if you would please grab a piece of paper and pencil and write down our advanced referral strategy, which is you ask for them. It was funny. I was on a webinar about 3 weeks ago, and just before this slide came up, the guy that I was holding this webinar with says, don't tell me just to ask for them. And when I brought him up, he laughed hysterically. Because you need to understand something, folks. It's very, very simple. If you ask for referrals, you're going to get them. It's that simple. Are you going to get them from everyone? No, but you will get them. As a matter of fact, I'll even do this for you. I'm going to make you a guarantee right now. I will guarantee that every one of you on this call will triple the amount of referrals you are currently bringing in if you do the following simple step. Every time you have a new client, every time you're working with an existing client, anytime you're working with a prospect or somebody that you know, I want you to ask them the following question. And that question is, who do you know that might benefit by using our product or service?
Mm-hmm.
Or say you have a customer that's raving about your product or service, and they tell you so. Perfect time to say, who do you know that you think would benefit, from our product or service just like you are? The best part is people are going to give you referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how easy it is to pick up the phone and go, hey, is this John? Hi, John. Mary Smith told me to get in touch with you. She's been doing business with us, and she thinks that our product or service might be very beneficial to help you, reach your revenue goals or blah, 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 whatever you want to put in there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how you get referrals.
And
Josh, tell me what you do with referrals.
You know what? We've got a bunch of people on this call right now, this webinar. It's exciting. I have a whole chapter in my book, and this is not a plug, but this really is me nurturing a relationship with everybody here. I have a whole chapter on asking for referrals at the exact right time when a customer compliments you and says, Josh, I love what you did. I used your technique. I did this. It's amazing. And it's right at that moment. There's no reason why everyone on this webinar right now has not read that chapter, and you can follow up with us afterward and learn about Light, Bright, and Play. It really is that easy and that important to ask for, well, thank you. Tell me about one of your friends that might want to do that. Now, a way that I'm asking for referrals, I have a very simple trick that is nonverbal that seems to work for me, Dave, and I want to hear what you think about this. Everybody on the webinar can use this right now. Every one of our nurture relationships in an email, in a sequence, using Infusionsoft, one of the invites, it says, register here for an event, or forward this email to a friend and have them click here to register. Or forward this, so we have something below that says, have a friend that lives in LA that wants to attend this event, forward this to them, make a friend for life, and have them click here to register. And it really is a small, gentle, if you like what we've given you in the past, if you want to make it, but you want to invite a friend, forward this email to a friend. It really is a little referral in an email.
Right. That's exactly right. And it's that simple. I mean, all you have to do is remember to ask people, and you're going to end up picking up a lot of referrals.
Yeah.
So that's something that I really need you to embrace. Now, here's the part where, I believe that every so often you got to put the rubber on the road, and this is where we're going to do it right here. Now, we've been going through the 7 steps of lifecycle marketing. Again, very quickly, which is attract traffic, capture leads, nurture prospects, convert sales, deliver and satisfy, upsell customers, and get referrals. And I know many of you are sitting here going, yeah, I could be doing this, and maybe I should be doing this, and wow, maybe I should pay attention to this. But let's get even a little more specific, shall we? I want you folks to please grab a piece of paper. Just any piece of paper, go right ahead. I'll wait. All right, I'll stop with the music. Okay? On top of this piece of paper, I want you to write down the price of your average sale. I want you to write down the dollar amount of your average sale. If it's $500, put down $500. If it's $3,000, put down $3,000. I want you to write it on the top of a piece of paper.
I just did it.
Now what I want you to do is I want you to think about how much business, how many clients you are potentially missing every single month by not doing what we've just covered in the last 51 minutes. Now let's be conservative. We don't want to make yourself feel really horrible. So let's be very conservative. So I want every one of you to think for a second, what is this costing you? How much money are you missing every single month by not applying these skills? Okay? Take that number, whatever that number of missed clients is, multiply that by your average sale, and write down whatever the total is. Now, don't fall off your chair and don't pass out. We're going to help you through this, okay? So my question is, what's your total? 10,000? 25,000? Some of you, it could be 100,000 or more. Okay, it's a big number. And I do this not because I want to make you go through this level of pain, but I want you to understand what capabilities you have in your business without making any major changes. You understand I'm not sitting here saying double your marketing budget. I'm not saying hire more staff. I'm talking about making some very simple adjustments in your business that can help you overcome losing this kind of money every single month in your business. Mm-hmm. Now, what a lot of people ask me is they go, Dave, how do we fix these problems? And it's real simple. The easiest way to do this is by looking at Infusionsoft. Now, again, many of you are sitting here saying, oh, great, this is sales pitch time. No, there is no pitch, okay, because the last thing I'm going to do is try and sell you a piece of software that you don't know if you need yet. We are the #1 all-in-one sales and marketing software for small business. Now, a lot of you are saying to yourself, no, don't sell me another piece of software, please, please, please. I already have calendar software and spreadsheet software and telephone software and website software. I got more software than I know what to do with. All it does is makes it more confusing because none of them communicate. It's causing multi-system chaos, which is causing wasted time, manual work, and lost opportunities. Mm-hmm. What you need, ladies and gentlemen, is a piece of software that includes all the things that are most important in your business. And those 3 things are email marketing, CRM or contact management, and e-commerce. Mm-hmm. And that's what Infusionsoft is made up with. That is why we are an all-in-one sales and marketing software. Email marketing, we're going to help you increase your traffic. We're going to help you grow your list. We're going to help you capture more contacts. When it comes to your CRM, or your contact management software, we're going to help you better nurture your prospects. We're going to show you how to build better relationships and more profitable relationships. And then with e-commerce, we're going to show you how to have a higher sales conversion, increase your upsells, generate more profits, and generate more referrals. And the best part is we do all of this automatically because that's how the software is built. Now, this is when I always like to throw out the slide that this is decision time. Now, please understand, I'm not asking you to make a decision, should I buy or shouldn't I? To be honest, and I'll be completely blunt, Josh, don't yell at me for saying this, I don't care whether you buy or not. Mm-hmm. That's not my job.
It's true.
Okay, my job, it is, yeah. And I make sure people understand that. We have 425 employees here. There's 51 people that they care. Okay, that's not my job. My job is very simple. You have 2 options at this point. You can choose to do absolutely nothing. You can sit here and say, wow, Josh, thanks very much for inviting me on this webinar. And Dave, thanks for the information. It was really good information. And yeah, you're kind of funny and a little humorous and stuff like that. But, I think I'm just going to kind of move on and kind of slug through my business the way it is. And I'm going to do absolutely nothing. Or I recommend you choose to do something. Because if you choose to do something, you get the opportunity to stop losing your warm leads, eliminating your lost sales, decrease one-off sales, stop overlooking obvious upsells, and how to generate more referrals. There's a very simple way to do this. So if you've chosen to do something, let me make this as easy as possible. I'd like you to go to this website. Okay, this website's going to lead you to a 13-minute demonstration of our software. 13 minutes. And to be honest, the demo is actually very good. Mm-hmm. I love this demo. Why? Because what it does is it gives you the opportunity to identify if our software fits for your company. If it fits, fabulous. If it doesn't fit, you've lost nothing. But my recommendation is to take 13 minutes of your day and go to insft.co/LCM7913. And just so you'll remember, LCM is Lifecycle Marketing 7913. That's today's date, July 9th, 2013. Mm-hmm. But by doing this, it gives you the opportunity to see what is possible. There are many of you on this call that are saying to yourself, the things that Dave is saying, I need help with this in my business. I need to learn how to do this. I'm tired of working every weekend, tired of working every evening. I'm tired of putting in 70, 80 hours a week, not seeing my family, not doing the things that I love, and I'm still struggling. Let us take a look to see if our software can help you. Let us take a look to see if it fits with your business. It's not going to fit with all of you. I'm going to tell you right now, there's going to be some of you that are going to call us and go, I'd like to learn about your software. And our sales reps are going to say, don't buy our software.
Yeah. You guys are honest.
Why? Because we don't, it's exact. And bottom line is, Josh, you know about our software. It's not for everyone.
I don't do this
But
with any other companies. I don't co-host a webinar. I don't work. I do it with Hootsuite a little bit because I do a little bit of social media. But I truly believe in Infusionsoft, and to really walk the walk instead of just talking. I'm going to offer a little bit of a wow here. Anyone that and you don't have to sign up. You've gotten your 7 tips. Go use these. Oh, we got a sale in the background. Everyone's cheering.
Yeah.
This is the cool thing. If you were to sign up for this and contact Dave, and if you don't, that's fine. But all the dozens and dozens of people are on the webinar right now, I'll toss in a free 15-minute strategy session, and I'll ship you guys a book if you sign up for this. Free from media leaders, complimentary. I charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars for these things, and I want to be your friend. I want you to truly love this software if it's the right fit for you. I'll ship you a copy of Light, Bright, and Polite, and I'll get on the phone with you and show you how we use Infusionsoft. I'll get you. Now, Infusionsoft's going to take great care of you if you sign up. They're going to train you. You will be in the world's best hands. But I'll go a step ahead and set up some time to make sure you're 100% satisfied and send you a copy of my book because I want you to see how we use Infusionsoft.
Terrific. Well, that's great. It sounds like a great offer, and want to make sure that all of you have the opportunity to take him up on this. But the last thing I always like to point out to people before I let you go is, when you're making this decision whether you want to attend our demo or not, ask yourself the question: do I want to continue to lose, or do I want to continue to make whatever that figure you have on that piece of paper is? Because the choice is yours. If you do nothing, you're going to continue to lose it. If you do something, you're going to have the opportunity to make it. Again, folks, that's the link we want you to go to, insft.co/LCM7913. Josh, I want to thank you so very much for hosting this webinar. I really appreciate you putting this together. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so very much for attending. We look forward to working with you in the future. Josh, is there anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, thanks so much, Dave. You're awesome. I really appreciate your time.
It was my pleasure. Josh, thanks again. And folks, enjoy the rest of your week. We hope to be working with you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.